Hey guys, and welcome to Little Black Book 91. We are here today with another live panel discussion. You guys have been crying out to see some men on the show, so I went and grabbed some men on the show. Okay, today's topic we are talking about is, do men know what they want? You see, because I keep seeing some of this conversation in the spheres of Twitter. I see it on the spheres of the YouTube. I see it everywhere, that women are always asking, men don't know what they want. Now, I had to change my voice for that. You know, I had to do that for you ladies, okay? Now, they're always crying about we don't know what we want. So I want to get some men onto the show to come and tell us whether men know what they want. So I am joined by some very handsome, lovely, smart, intelligent, wise men, okay, to come and shell out. So I have TD with me, I have Ben with me, I was going to say Ayoba. Let me say it properly, Ayoba. You understand? And we also have Faith. He's in the background. Listen, I'm going to bring him on. Now, Faith is doing a little bit of cabbage and lettuce for us, all right? So I need to make sure he's all right. So I'm going to bring him in quickly just to make sure he's not doing cabbage and lettuce. How you doing there, Faith? You good, yeah?
Yeah, I'm good, bro.
Oh, the Lord is good.
There. Yeah, I've had to move places, so I'm just gonna quickly set up while you.
No
talk.
worries.
So,
You set up. We'll put you in the background. You set up, and I'll bring you back. All right, cool. So yes, I'm joined by TD, Ben, Ayoba, and Faith today to have a real deep conversation about do men know what they want. But I want to introduce them properly. You know what I mean? Because these guys, I said, they are top tier quality. You understand? Yeah, like Quarantine, top tier. You understand? A1. So I have on my left to me Ben Ando. Now, many of you guys, if you know Ben Ando already, it's problematic then if you already know him already, innit? You get me? Nah, checks. This guy is a sound guy, you understand? Ben, how you doing? You good, yeah?
I'm good, bro. I'm good. Thanks for having me on, man. It's an honor.
No worries, my G. Now, I know, obviously, I wanted to introduce you, but I also want to bring you into, you are a minister, you understand, of grace, you understand? And you also run Ahava as well. I want you to let them know what Ahava is about. You know what I'm saying? And kind of tell us a little bit about what you do.
Ahava, which is an organization that myself and my wife, we founded. We bridge the gap between the church and the community. So we look at the gaps between what the church is missing and why the community don't want to go to church anymore. So we kind of develop activities and things that we can do to revive the church so that the community feels safe to come back into. By God's grace, we've been going on for about 2 years now, and we've launched now in Ghana and launching in Nigeria as well. So we're running 3 different places, and we're looking to do a little bit more. Now we've gone into missions as well. So I'm actually doing ministry full time now. I moved from the hospitality industry as a guest relations manager to now doing ministry full time. So
not simple guest though. Don't say it like that though. It's not simple guest though, is it? Yeah, it's not simple guest. It's not the meat. It's not the likes of us on this panel, is it? Yeah. He's gone on like his normal guest, guys. It's not normal guests. It's proper guests.
Some special people. So I did 6 years of doing hospitality, but now doing ministry full time, and obviously I'd actually do music as well. So I play drums for a couple of people here and there, as well as balancing being, a pastor and preaching and going around the world and stuff. So we're actually in Ghana next month. We're doing a missions trip. So we are going to be doing a crusade, which young people haven't done in a long time. So and we're going to be feeding villagers and just giving the gospel to these people. So yeah, that's me in a nutshell.
I appreciate it, Ben, man. Shout out for the strong start, man. I appreciate that. Thank you, Ben. Appreciate it.
Bro,
Ayoba, talk to me, sir. Listen, Ayoba, listen, this guy, before you even speak, don't even speak yet. I need them to be ready for what you're about to bring. Yeah? Look at TD. TD's gone now, but I need you to be ready to listen to what Ayoba's going to say. Ayoba, please introduce yourself, but don't break them with the bass. Go on, sir.
You need to allow me, man. You really need to allow me. How's it going, man? Thank you for having me on the show. Thank you for having me on the show. What do you want to do? Explain a bit about what I do about myself.
Tell us a bit about yourself, bro. You know what do you do, man?
I'm a producer and audio engineer. I got a studio in Tottenham.
It's not in your bedroom, is it? It's a proper studio, isn't it?
It's a proper studio. I've had it since 2015. I've got quite a few studio partners and artists and musicians that I work with now. And yeah, we're just, making good music and just taking it each day as it comes.
Love it. Thank you very much.
No
Ayoba.
problem.
TD, Minister of Grace. TD. You have to unmute yourself though, TD. Go for it. You have to unmute yourself, bro. TD, you got to unmute yourself, bro. Unmute yourself. Go for it. Tell us a little bit about yourself, TD, man.
Nice.
Talk to the audience, man. Tell them about yourself, bro.
I apologize. My connection's acting up a little bit at
Don't
the
worry,
moment.
man. You're in Nigeria, Lagos.
so
It's all
I'm-
good, man. Oh, his connection is doing Lagos stuff.
Yeah, but I'm popularly known as TD. I currently serve in a church called Mustard Seed Chapel International. And not to talk too much, some of the major running at the moment is something called Singles Mingle, which has been popping throughout the lockdown period. Hopefully, Little Black Book will tell you guys a little bit more about that a little later on. And also, I'm running a music school called Psalms. We're due to have a relaunch in February. That's just basically creating a platform for people to learn music, different instruments, piano, guitar, bass. We're trying to add some new elements of music production and sound engineering. So watch this space. And Little Black Book will give my details if anyone wants to get in touch regarding those projects.
Appreciate that, TD. Thank you very much, man. So, obviously, guys, we wanted to kick the conversation off. Got you guys introduced to the people. Them Faith will come and introduce himself. Listen, his beard will talk for itself. But let's have a real conversation now. So, this question was something that I heard in the sphere quite a bit, right? They want to know, do men know what they want, right? So I kind of formulated some kind of, some questions from that. So I'm going to ask a question to the man them. I'm going to pose it to you. I want to answer from each of you, okay? And the question is, from the moment you meet a woman, do you know what you want? So like the moment you meet a woman, do you know what it is from the jump? Do you know? I'm going to go straight to Minister of Grace, Ben, because Ben's problematic. Ben, do you know?
I'd say yes and no from my past experiences, which, God, you know a little bit about. You kind of, what you know is that you want that person. That's definite. You want that person. What happens afterwards, you kind of work it out. And I think that's where we have the problem with women, because women always they're like 20 steps ahead, but for a guy, anyway, this is me personally, from my past relationships and stuff, it's always, okay, that's what I want, but what's going to happen afterwards, we'll figure it out. So I tend to say majority of them probably think that way. They want something, they'll get it, but what happens afterwards, they want to work it out and figure it out.
Appreciate it. Ayoba, talk to me, man. Do you know, like, when you meet that woman, like, straight off the bat, like, do you know, or is it like, I'm trying to figure it out? Like, well, go on, talk to me, Ayoba. Oh, sorry, I've muted you, bro. Go for it.
I agree with what Ben said, I feel like ultimately, that you want something, but you don't know what that something is yet. So most of the time, I've only ever been in one situation in my life where I met someone, and from the jump, I was like, yo, this girl is the one. Ultimately, it didn't work out, so I was wrong, but I feel like, yeah, as men, we know that we want the person, but we don't know to what capacity sometimes. And sometimes, if I'm honest with you, we do know to what capacity, but it's not
positive.
It's not positive. It's not positive. And that's just the ultimate truth. Like, so there's a lot of times where you can meet someone, you like them, but you don't like them enough to be like, yeah, I'm going to take this seriously. And that's just the truth of the matter.
You know what? I like that. And we're going to come back to that, because that's a real thing. You understand? That's part of the groupings that we're talking about. I like that. So we'll come on to that. I've got Faith in the background too, so I'll bring him on as well. But TD, talk to me, man. Like, what would you say? What would you say in terms of this question? In terms of that, do you know from the jump? Like, do you know from the start? Talk to me, man.
I think as Ben and Ayoba have mentioned, it's a question of extent. When you meet somebody, some people come off like sin, and they see you and they want you like, I need to bag that, I need to wife that. Others, they're trying to look at the New Testament style, both men according to knowledge. I need to know a little bit about you first. I need to take my time, size you up. I'd say yes and no, man. It depends. It's subjective. Depends, man. Depends.
Appreciate that, man. Word, I like that. My man said New Testament as well. Like, you understand? If you know, you know. You understand? Faith, talk to me, bro. I've asked Ayoba, I've asked Ben, I've asked TD, but I'm trying to get your perspective. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like, talk to me. When you meet this girl from the jump, does man know? Like, do you know what you want?
I think we have an idea. We all have an idea of what we want. So before you even approach this person, you know whether you want to go there or not with this person, based on what you are looking for in an individual. So, in some cases, in some sense, you know what you want. The only problem is if we don't know, we're not straightforward with the people. Like certain people, they just see this girl. All they want to do is just play about and run, or play about and do whatever they want to do. They know for sure they're not like going to commit to this person. They know the ones that they want to be committed to. They know the ones that we know the ones we want to be committed to. We know the ones that we just want to play about and just disappear. The problem is us not being able to come up front with these women and let them know this is what we want. I want to play about and leave. You give them misconstrued ideas and stuff like that. So in a sense, I agree. We do know what we want when we meet a woman.
You mentioned something there, and I guess obviously Yoba also mentioned it as well, about the playing part of things. So obviously, I think we can say it straight from the bat. We know from the jump what we want, but it is what do we want? Because it is that part where it's like, Ben, you also mentioned the confusing part, which is that the want is not the issue. It is because it is what's communicated. What do I actually want? You know what I mean? Because does my want meet your want? You know what I mean? So, Ayoba, you mentioned it as well. So let me let you hit this one, and then I'll let Ben here go as well. When you were talking about that that area where you know what you want, but it may not be necessarily positive. What did you mean by that? And let's explore that a little bit more. Talk to me about that, bro.
Okay. So without sounding too crude or anything. Ultimately, like you mentioned groupings, right? As a man, you can find someone attractive, but they don't tick all the necessary boxes. Yeah? And that means that you may not be able to see yourself in a long-term relationship with that person. But in the meantime, while you're single and that person's single, you might entertain other things. And the same thing goes for women. Women do it as well. It's not just men that do this, but I feel like men sometimes may not be as straightforward with it because it's off-putting to a lot of women when they hear that. Men, we don't care. A woman can tell us, yeah, she's just here for a good time, not for a long time. And as a man, you won't care because ultimately you're getting what you want, so you just don't care kind of thing. But with women, they're less likely to accept that because of just the way they carry themselves and the value that they have in themselves, most times. I found that just being straightforward and honest, most times it's more beneficial. So, like, I can be straightforward, and if a woman decides that it's not for her, it's not for her. End of. Sometimes you find women that they will, like, accept it, but then with time they're thinking, oh, I can change him. And that's another issue. Where women feel like, oh, it's because he doesn't know me yet. But like we've already said, ultimately, we know most of the time. So it's thinking that you can change, like it can happen in some cases. I'm not saying that it's impossible, but ultimately, as a guy, you've already decided what it's going to be. So if a guy has communicated that to you, you should just accept that.
Ben, Minister of Grace. Sorry, bro. Go for it, Ben. Add on that, bro. I know you want to touch on it.
100% agree with what my bro was saying. I can't really say much on that because it's the truth. you know. But again, I can
What's
only
the
speak
truth?
from I can only speak from my experience in it. I mean, there are two sides to a guy. There's the type when he's like, all right, this is what I want. Do you get? And then he gets into it, and eventually he realizes that's not what he wants. Do you get? And the reason why he gets like that is because there might be characteristics of the individual that he's with that could be a turn off. So most times as well, we don't put that into perspective of the fact that, do you know what, I like this girl because I've seen the way she looks. Do you get what I mean? I love her character and everything like that. But when you get together, you realize it's a whole different person. And that most times for men could be a switch off. And when the guy switches off, that's it for him. And that's me speaking personally. When something happens, that's it, I'm done. Like, you know, and so I've got to now find my way of, you know, coming back or retracting from it. And then the girl will be like, oh, but he doesn't know what he wants. Well, I did, but when I got into it, it was not what I thought it would be. And then there's the other type, which is like, all right, then do you know what? I personally don't want to pursue maybe marriage or something like that. Let's just keep it as friendships. But if you want something a little bit more, then let's go for it. But then what happens is somebody catches feelings. Then that's when the trouble begins, you know, and then you forget what the initial process was. And then somebody has to take the blame. And most of the time, it is the men that get the blame. You know, the girl's like, but I had feelings for you. And it's like, but I thought we had, you know, some sort of agreement. But then let's flip it. Sometimes the guys might get, you know, a little bit too deep into it. And when the girl says, no, I don't want any more than what we already have, it can shatter a guy. And then that's when he starts becoming, you know, I don't like you, or you're this, you're that, you're this. But really and truly, you know, you like the girl, but because she's crushed your feelings, and it's very hard for a man to recover when his ego's been beaten down. That's when he starts acting a particular way to certain females because of what he's been through in the past. So you kind of have to find a balance on what do you want. And for me, I would say to guys, look, before you get into a relationship, make sure that you check the characteristics of a person. Because when you get into that relationship, you're going to start to see things that maybe you didn't like, you know. So that's what I'll say. I agree with what my brother was saying, but that's what I will have to add to that.
I love that, Addis. TD, let me drop it on your end a little bit, bro. You know, that great, I call it the grey area, them things there, you understand? So them grey areas there, yeah. You know, when you're expressing your wants and stuff, I mean, why does it get tricky? Why does it get sticky when, you know, I mean, are men lying here? Is it women going too far ahead? You know what I'm saying? You got to mute yourself though, bro. Go for it.
I think the issue is, and in a way, echo what my brothers have been saying. Have you guys ever seen someone from a distance and they look?
Oh, his connection went and dropped. Faith, talk to me. The show must go on. The Lord was like, nope. Talk to us, Faith.
Yeah, it's techie still, because a lot of the time you go in with one mindset, and the thing is, it goes both ways. It's not just the women who might seem different. Even we ourselves, we may not be the same people that we enter the relationship with, because certain things may happen while you're there in that relationship that could cause change. And I'm speaking from personal experience, because I've been through stuff that has caused me to change and react or behave in a certain way from where I was 2 years ago. So,
like what? Just quickly, I wanted to just ask.
Oh
like what?
God,
Like what?
you're about to get me to go deep, yeah?
Yeah. Do we need to know? Like what?
For instance, like when I met my missus, I've always been like quite bubbly, excited, like all over the place, like a proper what's the word for such people? Sanguine or
oh yeah. Psychology.
There's another word, a more popular word, ambivert or extrovert. That's the word.
Extrovert. Yeah.
I'm more extroverted. I was more extroverted during those times, but going through life, certain things happened that caused me to like lose myself a little bit. Going through mental health and stuff like that caused me to retract from, you know, being myself. And it's only, I think, and that had an effect on the relationship that I had, because I couldn't be as bubbly. I couldn't be as exciting. I couldn't be as, loud and as she saw me or she met me as. So coming into the relationship, you've seen me like this. Now you're in a relationship and you're with me and I'm all quiet. I'm all in the corner. I'm not as communicative as I should be and stuff like that. So that will cause the person to think, wait, is this is this who I'm with, or is this whom I saw you to be when we were talking or when we were friends or whatever it is? It can cause them to question your character, your behavior, or whether you deceive them into jumping into a relationship. But you have to understand that we all change based on circumstances. So there might be changes while you're in there that might cause you to think maybe it's not what I thought it was. But it's up to you to come up to the other person and be like, yo, this is not what I thought it was, and I'm not feeling it right now. I'm not with it. It's a matter of, are you going to do something about it, or am I leaving? Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's a matter of communication. If you're not happy with something, just let the person know. And it's up to them whether they're going to change to see what you would be happy with, or they're not going to change. So you make a decision as to whether you're going to stay in there or you're going to leave. If you're going to stay in there, know that this is what you've accepted. It's not a matter of it's not a matter of I've accepted this right now, hoping that later on he's going to change. If the person has told you that this is what it is, accept that that's what it is and just carry your stuff and go. Don't sit there expecting them to change while they've not committed to changing. And again, changing might not happen just like that. It will take time. Changing, especially when you build up habits, it will take time. It doesn't happen overnight, and it will take you talking. Sometimes it will take you talking about the same issue over and over again to a certain extent before you actually see the change. So yeah.
I appreciate that, Faith. Let me ask a question to the panelists, Mandem. Do men tell more lies or do they tell more truth to women when in these scenarios? Ben's looking at me, so Ben, I'm going to you. Do men tell more lies or do they tell more truths when dealing with like these interactions? And we're talking about that early stage, yeah? And I know some of us are in long-term relationships, married and stuff, but that early stage, is there a lot of lying from men or more truth? Talk to me.
It's more selling dreams without knowing that you've sold dreams. That's what it is. Because most of the time, like, you don't really want to open yourself up because you don't know whether this is going to work or not. And so you have to make sure that for me anyways, I put up a facade in front of a female just to make it seem as if I'm the person that she wants. Do you get? Because again, anyway, this is me personally, I don't like rejection. So if I'm going to be honest with a girl and she says, oh, do you know what? I don't want to work this out. You're going to be like, I wasted my time. So most of the times you do have to say, look, this is what I'm going to do. This is what we can achieve. This is what we're going to do, X, Y, and Z. So to them, she's like, oh my gosh, she's selling me this amazing dream. But to you, it's like, in your mind, it will work. But you know that you're not there yet. Whether you're going to get there, that's the question, you know? So most of the time, yeah, we do sell dreams. And I wouldn't say it's because we're lying. Most times it's because we think that we hope that we're going to get there. Do you get? It's just majority of the time something might happen and we end up not getting there at all. I'd say it's only by the grace of God for me that eventually I got to that place of maturity where I was like, okay, then I need to stop selling dreams because I'm damaging myself. Do you get? Because now I've set expectations that I need to get to that I know that I can't get to. So sometimes it's about just stepping back and saying, okay, then what can I achieve for myself in order for the person that I want to be with can now level with me and we both can get there. So it's about a man getting to the point where he's able to reason with himself and be truthful with himself rather than sell dreams that he knows that he can't achieve, you know? So yeah, I've sold dreams though.
Sold dreams, yeah?
Yeah.
Them selling dreams like drug dealers. I hear you, cuz. Ayoba, talk to me, man. Man's talking about selling dreams out here like he's selling stuff on the corner and things. So what's it? Are man them selling these dreams or what, man?
You know what, yeah? It's easy to sell dreams.
Hey, easy.
Let me explain. It's easy to sell dreams when people are asleep.
Hey,
You see women, yeah, women hear what they want to hear a lot of the time. So there's been a lot of situations where I've said the truth, but I've said it nicely. You know when you say something like gently, yeah? And because I've said it gently and I haven't been so blunt with it, they've now taken it as they've created their own like interpretation of it. I'm not saying all women do this, but some women do this. At the end of the day, people do this. Like some men do this as well. So if you're trying to be upfront with someone about your intentions, yeah. And like Ben said, sometimes you feel like you're gonna get there. You've said what you've said, but then further down the line, something's happened, there's some characteristics you've seen, and you don't end up getting to that point. Now you're getting dragged and you're getting attacked because this person feels some kind of way, which she's fair to her. She's like entitled to feel that way. She's entitled to feel some kind of way about it. But the reality is, if you truly listened to what the guy said, then you would know that this shouldn't be such a surprise. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I've openly said to some girls sometimes where I've been like, I'm just not the type for commitment. Like, I struggle.
Hey.
I've openly said it. And then they're confused when I turn left. But I openly said it, so I don't get it. And yeah, it's just life, isn't it?
A man said, it's easy to sell dreams to people that are already asleep, you know. Like, this selective hearing, bro. Let me hit you. Let me ask you this question. Now I'll move it on to TD. So TD, get ready. This selective hearing. What do you mean by selective hearing? You know, I know Ben touched a little bit, but what do you mean by selective hearing?
Are you asking me?
Okay,
sorry. So I'm trying to think of like specific scenarios. Yeah. There was a girl that I was talking to. This scenario I'm basing it on this girl. Yeah.
Okay.
I already knew that ultimately I didn't see it going there, but we both had an attraction to each other. So we let it go where it went. Now, further down the line, she's asking me questions like, "Oh, why can't I see myself in a relationship with her?" Or like, what happened in my past? She's now trying to delve into like my history. Yeah, she's now trying to do psychology with me, psychology 101, trying to understand why I'm like this so that maybe she can fix me. There's nothing that requires fixing. There's nothing that requires fixing. I just know that ultimately what I see isn't what I want for like the long haul. Like I said before, there's been a time when I was with someone and I was from the jump, literally from the inception, and there was it's so crazy to me because there was nothing that she showed me that I was willing to, that was to turn off, that I was willing to walk away from. And that's when, as a man, you know that, yeah, you know what, this is someone that I want to be with. That relationship lasted 5 years. Like I said, it didn't ultimately work out, but that relationship lasted 5 years. And I knew where I wanted it to go. And the reasons why it didn't go that way, like there were many, like, but it is what it is. So women, just listen to what a guy is saying, I think.
Love that preaching. Thank you, Yoba. We'll get you off from there. Appreciate that. TD, talk to me, bro. Because look, we went church for a little while together as well. You know what I'm saying? Listen, I ain't gonna lie to you. That church there, you know what I'm saying? That single mingle there, bro. You know what I'm saying? Keep it 100% real. You know what I'm saying? We had some good times, some good conversations. So talk to me. When it comes to selling dreams and stuff, like, does that happen a lot in church as well? Like, does that happen a lot? Because, you know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah. I think. Let's be honest. We're still trying to discover who we are, you know, and find our identity and our purpose and our calling. So, it might not sound fair, but a lot of what a guy can say sometimes should be taken with a pinch of salt. You know, the Bible says the arm of flesh will fail you. You know, like when man's moving, listen, it's not every day we're moving in the spirit. Man can move in the flesh sometimes, drop a few bars, drop a few lines and say things. And if you take that 100% to World Cup like it's the word of God, guess what? I'm not as faithful as God is. You will be disappointed. You will be disappointed. Like, and I think for men and women, we both kind of have to have a lot of forbearance. I was on a call yesterday and I was talking about forbearance, and sometimes forbearance comes in creating a space for grace with words, and communicate. Like and I don't know if you guys would agree. Sometimes when you're communicating with a woman, it's not always a safe space when you're speaking. Sometimes like there's knives and like you're expecting shots, so you might not say 100% of what the case is. You might throw in a little white lie. You might conceal something. You might not be so forthcoming.
Sorry, little white lie. What's that, sir? What's
so
that
like
in Christendom?
Mercy.
Just want to ask, innit? Just being curious.
Just a little white one, maybe a little black one. Anyway, I'm joking. But honestly, like you might not be so forthcoming. You might not tell 100% of the truth. You might not even know. You might not know where you're going. I remember a situation where I felt like I was going in a direction, so I dressed up. This is the direction I'm going. But then I said, there's a slight chance. There is a chance. There's a possibility things might go 180 and go in the other direction, right? But like my brother earlier said, a woman hears what she wants to hear sometimes, so they don't really bear the weight of what you're saying, that, okay, if things go left, I might not like left. Can I really handle left? What they've heard is he said things are going right now. Okay. But we're not the one in control of times and the seasons. So it's messy. It is a bit messy. Like, I think sometimes we have to, as men, we have to learn to be careful with our words. We have to have measured discussions and be open and consider all eventualities and discuss, okay, what would happen if this was the case? Like, I know I'm saying this to you now, but let's be real. Like, I say I want to wake up at 5 a.m. I wake up at 7 because I overslept. I missed my alarm. Like, how much control do I really have over my life? It's God who's calling the shots. So let's say this happened. Wagwan, what do you think? Talk it out like that. Talk it out. Create scenarios, situations, so that you know that in different eventualities, she's still calm and you're still calm as well.
I love that. And I love the background behind you. We're hearing salt water falls in my eyes behind you, bro. It's like you're in Niagara right now, brother. I see you trying to just sweet the ladies. I hear you, brother. They're hearing you, but this is what they're talking about. When they're trying to hear you, what they're really hearing is waterfall behind you. They ain't really listening to you. You understand? That's what we're hearing behind him right now. You understand? So I appreciate that, sir. I appreciate that. Faith, talk to us, bro. Talk to us, man. What selling? I mean, we spoke about obviously selling dreams. I know I can see some of the comments. I can see the comments section. The ladies are a little bit like, like, what's this selling dreams? What are you talking about? But, is it always a safe? Let me ask that question. Is it always a safe space for a man to be able to express what he truly feels? So, you know what I mean? Like, is it always a safe space when you're on that dating section? Not when we're together, but that dating section. Is it always a safe space for us men to be able to express how we feel?
It's a bit techie, not gonna lie, because because that stage can either make or break depending on how women perceive you. So if you're gonna come in during that stage to be all mushy and like upfront with your feelings, then sometimes they might take it the wrong way. I've heard girls talk about, this guy has too many, it's too emotional. This guy's too this, it's too that. Just because they've been forthright or they've been truthful with their feelings and stuff like that. And it's not ended up the way they wanted it, simply because they've been prejudged based on that. They've been prejudged just because they've told you, 2-3 weeks after 3-4 days, I'm really feeling you. I think I might be falling in love, and they'll be like, he's running too fast or something. So sometimes it can be difficult. And I think it applies both ways, because guys, for instance, sometimes can, take a step back if they realize that the woman is running at a pace that they can't sort of catch up. So it can get like that sometimes. At the end of the day, I think Ben would agree, is a matter of communication and knowing what you want or where this is going. So if I'm being open and honest with you, and I'm not seeing you're not reacting in a way that makes it safe for me to continually open up and be safe around you, then I'm likely to hide somewhere or not be so forthcoming next time, which doesn't help the situation. So at the end of the day, it's a matter of how women react to men and how they communicate their feelings. Because if it's not taken the right way, then we're likely, because my ego, me letting my guard down, opening up to you, being like, this is how I feel, or I'm sad about this, or this, that, and you're like there reacting in a certain way, or going out there to tell people my business, or it will put a man off. I think that's the main thing. Things that would make a man look like he's not a man. The idea of a man, then he's likely to not be open or forthcoming with their feelings and stuff like that. So yeah.
I appreciate it, Faith. Appreciate that. Oh, yo, but you wanted to say something? Hit that for me then. Let me unmute you. Go for it. Yeah.
You know what? Faith touched on something there, 100%. Because when I think back to when I was younger, there were a lot of experiences that I had where I used to be very, very forthcoming with my feelings. When it came to how much I liked someone, and it always worked against me. Like always. without fail, I got I got perceived as
soft.
being soft, or being a nice guy, all that kind of stuff. And even with the relationship that I'm talking about, that lasted 5 years, it started off rocky because I was so forthcoming with how I felt initially. Fast forward to me now, where I've kind of done a 180 on what I used to be like, and that's not because of those experiences, but purely because I feel like I haven't met someone that has made me feel like that since then. So now, because I care less, it's almost like it works more in my favor, which is so mad to me. It's so crazy to me. But it's legitimately how it seems to work. I will meet someone and I like them, but I don't like them like that. So we may go there. And it's a thing of, I'm telling them straight up truth. Like I'm telling them, look, this is how, because like you said, it can work in both ways. So when you're telling a girl the truth and you're not sugarcoating it, they will decide whether it's for them or not. Most times women decide that it's not for them. In my experience, when I've been straightforward, they accept it. Like they don't try to create a notion in their head or anything like that. Most times they accept it. And you're gonna miss out on certain experiences with certain people if they decide it's not for them. But ultimately you have to give the woman that space, or that you need to give the woman the information so she can make the right decision for herself. Like I don't believe in telling lies or trying to do finesse because you want to get something from women. Like there's no point in doing that, because I think it was Ben that said it earlier. Ultimately, you're damaging yourself. Like when it comes down to it, you do that enough times and you're going to become someone that you dislike.
I love that.
Yeah, that's what I would say.
Let me answer a question for you guys as well. I mean, obviously this dating thing, you I think what becomes very techie, as we were saying, is that I think it's the word dating too, right? There's a process before I think that in this generation, not in this generation, life in general, there's a process before we get to dating. I look at it and I go, we get to dating very early, like before I've got to know you. You know what I mean? Because I think what happens is there's not enough time spent in conversation. You know what I mean? To actually get to know the person. I think sometimes as men, do you think that, let me ask a question. Do you think as men that we do not spend enough time getting to know the girl, or allowing the girl to get to know us in order to really find out whether we want to progress? Because I agree. I think men are very cautious. When we enter into the thing, we're like, you know what? I like what you're giving me right now, but let me see what you're really like. And then as we're progressing, we're like, oh my God, you know what? You're good, but you're not good for me. You know what I mean? But is there enough time? Do men spend enough time with women, because the scripture says, dwell with women according to knowledge. Do men spend enough time getting to know that girl to assess whether that girl is the right girl without entering into other behaviors? Y'all know what I'm talking about, okay? Benny Ben, look at me and answer that question, sir.
I knew you was gonna say something like that. I mean, yeah, I'd say we tend to rush and we go to certain places where we shouldn't. For me, I think the reason why we have so many issues in relationships now, especially within our generation and the younger generation, is because you've got way too many broken men and broken women trying to fix each other. You know, so they're missing the stages of healing from each other separately in their own situations, and then they're trying to heal each other. So when it's time for the man, for example, like we were talking about opening up and stuff like that, you realize that the man is opening up to the wrong woman because the woman's not ready to handle certain things that the man has gone from, and vice versa. The woman might say, look, this was my past, this is what I've gone through, this is what I've been dealing with, and the man might not be able to take it because, number one, he rushed into the relationship, but also number two, he's a broken individual. How can two broken things try and fix each other? And so the best way to always get yourself to have a healthy relationship is to always get to know someone. So, and that's what we were all talking about before. You know, understanding somebody, knowing where their intellect is at, knowing how to have healthy conversations, because you would know within that friendship or within those type of conversations whether that person is actually compatible for you. But most of the time is that we forget that stage and we start backwards. So we start from doing the deed before we start to get to know the person. Do you get what I mean? And most times you're like, you're thinking in your head, oh, I actually don't even like you.
Yeah.
But you've gone through all of that. Do you get what I mean? And that's the problem that we have. We have way too many broken people trying to fix each other. Then we have females who are trying to change males as well in relationships. So they're trying to be like, oh, I need to change this person so that he can become better. You know, like I think there was this meme that was going around recently about women taking drug dealers and people from outside into the church. You know, and it's like, yo, like, sis, listen, you can't change anybody but God. And the man needs to make a decision to say that I want to change. But the only way that you can see progression is if you get that person into a place of friendship and having healthy conversations, because in the long run, you'll start to realize if you actually like the person or not. And then you're able to have stimulating conversations that will be able to lead to a future. And you won't be able to give anybody the space to sell dreams. You'll be able to wake the person up. Do you get what I'm saying? So they can hear the truth. And these are things that we need to get ourselves into. And I thank God that I realized this. I think I realized it a bit too late because I had already damaged a lot of stuff in the past.
So all of us.
So I had to get to the point where I had to apologize even to every female that I had been with, or ones that I could get hold of anyways, because
some of us have that past. I hear you, bro.
I just had to apologize to everybody before I could move on into my marriage, because I was like, there's some things that need to be fixed, because every relationship you get to, you leave a piece with them, even if you're with them sexually or not, intellectually, or like there's something that you leave a piece with. So imagine if you're broken, you've left so many pieces shattered in somebody else's life. So it's up to us to be able to avoid these things by having healthy conversations. Do you know what I'm saying? Not rushing into these things, going out, having a meal. Is this person going to pay for the meal or not? Do you know what I'm saying? Little red flags that you can figure out beforehand. Do you get? Rather than being in a relationship, you've done the deed and then it's like, it's too late. Oh, wow, he told me to pay half the bill. Or like, do you know what I'm saying? So many things that you can avoid by just having a conversation. Do you get what I'm saying? And stop trying to change an individual. And also be on the healing process rather than being broken and trying to fix another broken person.
I love that. TD, you were ready to say something, bro. Yeah.
Bro, logistics.
What's logistics?
But
Talk to us.
It's all about measurement. It's all about scoping. It's all about, the Bible says that what man, who will sit down and say he wants to build a house will not first count the cost to see whether he'll be able to finish the thing.
Preach.
You've got to listen. And in this respect, it might sound weird, but you've got to cut your cloth according to your size. But to do that, you've got to know what you're getting involved with and who you're getting involved with. You know, I think that first of all, our generation, you know, sometimes it's played down, but we're up against it because we're trained by what we see on TV. We're trained by the shows we see. Listen, one-on-one on Trouble TV back in the day. Woo, that's not selling good things. It's not selling biblical things. You see it, like Fresh Prince. It's not selling biblical things. Like, I don't want to go deeper into other programs, but you're even the surface programming is training and coaching young people, and even adults, coaching them in how to approach relationships. Listen, even Disney is coaching people, you know, and it is selling this kind of Greco-Roman type of concept of love, you know, where you're enamored with somebody and you kind of just get involved, and it's passionate, it's intense. But the other side of the script is once that debates, because, you know, you only ever, you know, once you've released that immediate kind of need and such, okay, well, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. So you start to hear what the person really is. You actually start, let's put it this way. Man is a spirit, right? So if you're interacting with the body, you're not actually interacting with the principal aspect of that person's nature, or of who that person is. Ooh. It's a, you know, a gobstopper has layers, right? It's the inner core that you really want, right? But we always start on the outside, you know. But as Christians who understand spiritual relationships, and I'm talking more so to the Christian crowd. Not everyone might be a Christian, but I'm speaking. We want to start from the inside out. Right? You want to start from understanding the actual person, all right, and then how that person expresses themselves. So you know the spirit, how they express themselves. That's the soul. Then you get to the physical interaction, right? You know, and that preserve of certain physical interaction is meant to be reserved for the highest level of commitment. Right. So, but unfortunately, you know, we've loaded up on Trouble TV. We've loaded up on what you name it. You name the channels. Disney. Listen, the music videos that, like, you know, and the whole vibe is different. So you're coming looking to move to go in a professional way, and you want to lay the smack down on that as soon as possible. And guess what? Everyone's encouraging you. Listen, I remember being 4 years old, about 4 or 5 years old, and going to primary school. I didn't know what a girlfriend was, but I come home and say, oh, I've got 2 girlfriends. And it's like, yeah, man, yo, that's it. Wagwan, manned up. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. That's it. Big boy, handle that. And it's like, it's subtle, you know. And a lot of us were victims of things that people don't even know they're exposing us to. You know, we're being exposed to things people don't know. They're ignorant. They're none the wiser. So it's not even their fault. And I like what my brother Ben said in terms of, you know, talking about brokenness, like 2 broken people trying to fix each other. You know, it's a mistake. You know, the Bible says that 2 are better than 1, and a threefold cord is not easily broken. And I really think that when we're coming together, we have to understand that, you know, our wholeness and our completion comes in God. So anything that I find that's broken in you, I'm not going to presume that the master has given me a script or a manual to Ben's heart to be able to repair. And no, I'm not going to be that presumptuous. It's pride. I'm going to pray for you. I'm going to commit you into the Lord's hands. I'm going to direct you to scripture. I'm going to direct you to spiritual counsel so that you can be helped, you know, give you access to the master, encourage you to go to God. And I'm going to be patient, and I'm going to forbear, you know. And if you can't do them things, it's the wrong man for you. Just keep it moving. That's it. It's not that deep. But again, we fall into catching feelings. You know, you get, you know, a sense that thing's strong, man. We need to hold that back. We need to hold that back, the catching of feelings, and just kind of look squarely. Who is this person? What are they about? You know, whether it's a gangster you're trying to convert into a gospel preacher, like he is a gangster. That's who he is. Don't start you know, I mean, everyone's got potential. I've got a potential to be a drug dealer. I could work some connects. If you want to look, if you look hard enough, you'll find potential for everything. But let's speak to what somebody is, then go from there. That's it.
My oh my, I hear that. TD dropping them bars. Faith, you're looking at me like you want to say something, cause you understand. You've been sitting there like meerkat and thing. Talk to me, cause.
It's all mad. It's all mad because as my fellow brothers have already said, like people just be jumping into bed just like that. Like I think that's so crazy. That's mind-boggling. Like how the heck? And to think at some point I did a madness like that, it just baffles me because with me in my past, it was a thing of meet, beat, leave because of what I went through. I basically lost my virginity through rape. So I technically did not give it away willingly. And I took that anger, Ben talking about being broken. I took that anger and I basically used it by just being and going because I did not want to form a connection with anybody because I had lost trust, if it makes sense. I had lost trust in people because I trusted someone and they broke that trust by doing whatever it is that they wanted to do because of one single moment of weakness or whatever it is. Anyway, going forward from that, like there's so much that you have to know about an individual before you lay in bed with them. And this is where this whole thing about Ben was talking about, you leave a piece of yourself with every individual that you sleep with. Whether you like it or not, it is happening. You are doing that. Subconsciously, there's something there. You may not know it consciously, but subconsciously, you've let something there. And you're building up these things to then go. The annoying bit is the person that you finally decide, oh, this is the person that I want to be with. This is the person that I want. You're going to come to that person with expectations from the past relationships that you've been in, the past situationships, the past beating and stuff. Instead of you coming into this relationship or this marriage or whatever it is at the end of it, knowing that we are learning together, we are exploring together, which is what should be happening, especially when it comes to sexual stuff, which is what should be happening. You're coming there with an expectation. And if they don't meet that expectation, that's when you find trouble with them. Oh, they're not good enough. Their game is not great. But these times you're coming in, they're not great because you've gone and done whatever you want to do with someone else, being programmed, that's what our brother was saying, being programmed by pornography, being programmed by this or that, and you're expecting them to live up to that level when they've not gone through the same experiences that you've gone to. They've not been exposed to those things, same situations that you've been exposed to. It makes no sense. Me, every advice I give to every individual that I come to when it comes to relationship, build a strong friendship before you think about anything else. Because that love, there'll be a point where you won't feel that love. The only thing that's going to take you through is that friendship that you've built from the beginning. That romance, there's going to be a point where you won't feel that romantic towards your partner. It's going to be that friendship that's going to take you through it. You can't just come up and be doing lovey-dovey stuff when you've not built a friendship. You've not built a sustainable, something that will take you through the hard times. Because there's going to be hard times. And in those hard times, you won't feel love towards your partner. Sometimes you'll be so annoyed towards them. It's only you remembering the friendship that's going to take you through it. It's only you remembering the good times, the chill times, the times when you were not fighting, the times when you were just laughing, the times when you were doing stuff that were not romantic or lovey-dovey. Those are the things that are going to take you through it. If you don't build a strong relationship, you're setting yourself up to fail, because there's going to be times that, look at our auntie, our parents and that. It's rare to see them in their old age doing something so romantic. It's more of the friendship or the relationship that they've built from the beginning that has kept them up till now. Like, I have this nice auntie and uncle that I go to their house. They are proper friends. Like, they'd be joking around, cracking jokes at each other, laughing at each other. Like, they'll be laughing at the man's bald head, and the wife will be laughing at his bald head. He will be laughing at her, the way she's walking and stuff. And this is proper friendship, because they've learned to chill with each other outside of being romantic, outside of sex, outside of all those things. And they have a proper friendship. And that's what we need for us to be able to go on. And most of the times, my missus goes like, when we get annoyed with each other, what she refers to, what she wants to get back to is, oh, I want us to be friends again. It's going back to that basic, that base. That's where we need. So if you don't have that base, bro, sis, you're messing up. It's not. Yeah.
It's not patent.
That's yeah.
Whew, Faith. Thank you, man. You know what the maddest thing is? Listen, we've got like 5 minutes left. This is mad. I ain't gonna lie to you, cuz we've got like 5 minutes left. So, you know what? I'm gonna ask everybody for final statements. We'll probably have to drop a part 2 of this because we didn't even get through all the questions, but the conversation was vibrant. You feel me? Because obviously it was going to go on a section of things where I think as men we're going to talk about. I think someone put it in there, sexual discipline. Yeah, and I'll be the first to put my hands up and say, some of my things my discipline's a bit weak in there. You understand? Yeah, Jesus is not Jesus, man. I'm a bit weak in there, guys. You understand? I'm like, I'm being real. I'm not gonna lie. You know what I'm saying? So that's something we're gonna have to talk about in part 2. You know what I'm saying? In terms of why for us men does it like quickly descend from going from intimacy as a hug 1 minute, the next minute we're kissing up on the neck and doing all the madness. Why does it why for us men is it seem like it's a struggle for us men? I don't know. Do you know what I mean? So in part 2 we're gonna address that. You know what I'm saying? But let me get you guys kind of closing statements. Yeah, they're already saying, is it over already? Yeah, sorry man, we kept an hour today. You know what I'm saying? You have to keep them interested. You know what I'm saying? You come again next time. Yeah, me. Next week we're going again, so don't worry. But if I get my closing statements from you guys, if I get Ayoba, if I get you to first give us your closing statements in terms of, do men know what they want? Give us your closing statements and let the audience know a little something that you feel that they should know. Do you know what I mean? If the kind of statement, I say drop the mic statement. You know what I mean? Let them know one of those things. You know what I mean?
All right. I mean, like I said, ultimately, I feel like men do know what they want most of the time. And it's just for women to just genuinely listen to what we're saying. Words and actions as well, like what a guy says and then the way he acts. Watch that very carefully. Because we all know the saying, like, actions speak louder than words. If the actions aren't matching what the words are saying, then yeah, keep it stepping. Like, listen, like, women have intuition. Like, we all have intuition, but women have very strong intuition. Listen to that intuition and don't focus too much on what it is that you want or what you physically want and what you desire. But listen, and then you'll have your answer.
Man, like Ayoba. Hey! You're not a small guy. Ben, talk to me. Drop the mic on us, bro. Do you know what I mean?
I'd say rather than asking, what do men want, in relation to relationships, I'd say, men need to know what they want for themselves first, before getting into anything else. Because in a relationship, you are the head. Whether you're married or not, you have to take the lead. You have to be the person that's able to direct a female and say, hey, do you know what? This is what it is. Of course, the female take from the neck down, but the man is the head. And if you don't know how to control yourself, even being single or being in a relationship, you don't know how to maintain discipline, it's always going to end up wrong. And once the head is cut off from from the neck, it's pointless. So men need to learn, number one, is what do you want for yourself and what are you building? Do you get where I'm coming from? There are two things. Are you building your house on just sand, or are you getting the rocks, the foundation to build something solid on? So when the storm comes in a relationship, like what my brother Faith was saying, you're able to withstand on the foundation that you built it on. But it all goes down to the beginning stages of, do you know what you want? And then the same thing for females, because let's not point fingers all at men. Most times females, they decide, oh yeah, I want this, I want to get married, I want to do this. But have you thought about the present? Have you thought about what's going to happen next? Rather than thinking 20 steps ahead of you. You don't even know who the guy is. Do you know what he likes? Do you know what he likes to eat? All these small little things. And that's what I love what everybody said today. And the last thing that I will say is, on the basis of what TD was saying about spirituality and all these things, Jesus had his disciples for 3.5 years or 3 years, but yet he would always ask them, who do you say I am? These are people that he was rolling with like from day to day, but yet he still asks them, who do people say that I am? And the disciples still got it wrong, but they spent time with him. That means that there's always something that you need to know about an individual before you get into a relationship with them. You know, Thomas saw that Jesus had risen, but he still said, "Show me your hands." You know, for me, if I was Jesus, I would have slapped the guy. You know what I mean? You know, but us as individuals, we must get to that stage where we know someone, and then we can make a decision to say we want to take this relationship further. We need, especially within our Black community, we need to heal within our community. We need to heal because we have daddy issues. That's something we haven't even spoken about. We've got so many women that have been through trauma. You know, my brother spoke about rape. So many things that haven't even been addressed. And sometimes there are individuals that have been through so many traumatic things in their past life, they put it to the side and haven't dealt with it. So when they get into a relationship, it explodes. Those are things that need to be dealt with prior to relationships. You know, so that's what I'll leave everybody with. And then we'll do the part 2, you know, when you're ready.
Oh, listen, Justin, part 2 is going to be explosive. TD, talk to me, bro. Drop your mic session, man.
Fam, listen, I think that to answer the question, do men know what they want? Yes, they do. It's not always as detailed as you want it to be, ladies. A man can have a general idea of the direction he's heading in. He has a concept, he has a vision, right? But a lot of times ladies come for a point-by-point plan. You know, now for the Christian man, I would like to hope that he's waiting for God to call the shots. So be informed that it's coming, it's on its way. But guess what? He's not the author. Neither is he the finisher. He's just a vessel and an instrument through whom God is working and who God is using. So you have to be patient with him as God ministers to him what direction, you know, the next step in this direction. Listen, there's several ways right now. If I wanted to go to Yorkshire, there's probably several different routes I could take. You know, I may not 100% know which route I'm going to take when I'm leaving the yard. The sat-nav might suggest something, but then there might be a road closure. So I might have to take a detour, but I'm still going to the same destination. The Bible says, how can two walk together except they be agreed? So agree on the destination, right? And then as you're on the way there, agree also on the way. You get it? So as you're taking detours, listen, agree. If you can't find agreement, just leave it, you know. And I think as men and women, like Ben said, we need to focus on healing. We need to focus on recovery. You know, we've learned a lot of things wrong, you know. You know, that's just the devil, the way the devil tried to infiltrate and mess things up, you know. And but God is the author and the finisher. God knows what he's doing. God's still in control. God is still on the throne. And honestly, we just need to commit all to him, commit to prayer, commit to the word, spend time, get to know people. Like, I'm sure if Samson really knew, well, go on, he wouldn't be lying in Delilah's lap like that.
Me and Samson are one, you know.
Listen, he would not, like, go, listen, he would not if he really knew, you know. So sometimes guys know what they want. They don't always have the details. Girls, be patient for the details. I'll leave it there till part 2, man. My
guy, TD, drop mics and that. Faith for life.
Yo,
drop the mics.
Yeah,
there.
Man. We most of the times know what we want. We do. Most of the times, men do know what they want. It's just a matter of whether it's what you want to hear or not. It's just a matter of what you want it to be or not. Because at the end of the day, if I see someone that I know I want to be with, that's the person I will look at you and I'll start taking my notes before I approach you. So I will know for sure. If it's someone I just want to do my thing and go, I will know before I approach you, because we are always coming to you with an intention or a motive. So whatever that motive is, just be perceptive about it. And that's when our brother TD keeps on going on about spirituality. Like, sometimes the Holy Spirit is warning you, do not go there, but you choose not to listen. You choose to listen to your flesh. You choose to allow your flesh to direct your path instead of allowing the Holy Spirit to direct your path. That ain't it. From today, you need to change that one. If you're not hearing the Holy Spirit too, you better get on your knees and start building that relationship, because that will save a lot of headache. Stop getting on your knees for arc and get on your knees for prayer. That's it, people. But yeah, that's what I'm gonna leave with you. At the end of the day, God is supreme. God is above everything. So you need to make sure you're hearing from God, whether a man or woman. You need to hear what God is saying before you're doing whatever it is that you want to do. Amen.
Amen. Guys, it has been mad. It's been mad. Do you know what I mean? I see the comments. You guys have enjoyed it. I say guys, ladies as well. You guys, ladies and gents, have enjoyed this conversation. So we're definitely reloading it for part 2. Like I said, we'll go deeper into some of the things we spoke about today as well. What I want to say, obviously, as well, ladies, because I want to do a ladies panel as well, because I want to do a response to us, man. We've had our little chore in it, but I want to get the ladies' response to this conversation, because sometimes it's good to get both perspectives. That's how we're going to grow, you know what I mean? But I wanted to get the men in there first, because I think our voice is quietened sometimes. There's not enough space where us men actually really be able to express what happens with us and how we see life. So there will be a part 2 of this, probably be a part 3, part 4. There'll be other topics we'll talk about, you know what I'm saying? I can see the boys are eager in it. So there'll be some other topics we'll delve into and talk about from a male perspective to give you guys a bit of balance. And so, ladies, if you're wanting to join a panel to have a conversation similar to this, we want to ask the question: do women know what they want? Because it's easy to say, do men know what they want? But I'm gonna say honestly, sometimes women be like my brother Faith just said, y'all be going after your flesh. We done told you I'm not a committing kind of guy, and then because you see the handsome beard and the height and his finesse, his smooth words, he sings well in the choir, and suddenly you said, I don't want to hear what you said. I'm continuing. I can change him. So we want to talk and see if the ladies know exactly what they want. You know what I'm saying, when it comes to relationships as well. So I want to thank my panelists, Ayoba, Ben, Faith, TD, thank you so much. What I will do, I'll put their details also in the description of this video, because I know people have got some great things going on at the moment. I know TD's got Single Mingle, Ben, you've got Ahava as well. I always say it's Ahava. I always say it kind of differently the way you say it, bro. Yeah, so my pronunciations are a bit off, you understand? It's probably not Ahava, guys, but the way I say it's Ahava, innit? Yeah. But they're doing some great things. Faith also, this guy's a model. He won't tell you, but he's a model. He's a model. That's even his name on Insta, Faith Modeling. I don't know why he's a model, guys. I know but obviously this guy, audio engineer. You understand? I'm dealing with men of substance, people, not just any kind of guy. So, guys, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. If you want to know more about these guys, I'm going to put the details in the description box of this video. So if you want to connect with them, please connect sensibly. They are men of sensibilities, okay? All right? Connect with them, get in touch with them. And if you want to support as well, especially Ahava, I know Ahava's... In fact, Ben, talk to us quickly, because I know you're doing some fundraising. So before we go, just touch on that quick.
So next month, on the 12th of February, we're going to a village in Ghana, and we're doing a crusade there. So we're going to feed 1,000 villagers. We're going to fix their community and put in new toilets as well, and then give the gospel to them. And then on the 15th, we're going to be in Cape Coast at an orphanage, refurbishing their kitchen, their bathroom, giving them books, and spending the day with them as well. So we need as much people to support us financially, because we're taking a team from the UK over to Ghana to do that. It's a pandemic, so we're risking ourselves just to make sure that people are happy in places that they can't receive this thing. So if you want to donate and give towards any amount, it doesn't matter, £2,000 to £1, you can Cash App or PayPal Ahava Experience. So AHAVA Experience. You can find us everywhere, and you can donate to that.
Appreciate it, man. Ladies and gentlemen, we will see you again next week, same time. Might be the same guys, we don't know. We'll see what happens. You get me? But make sure you stay locked, stay loaded. As always, we appreciate you. Ba-da!